Coming up on this week's show, we give you some life-saving tips for driving in the wet. Our stars' sense of speed and stopping skills are on display in our charity challenge.
Oh, perfect.
Before boundaries get pushed when Dane van Niekerk and Kankowski take to the racetrack. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Speed Stars. If you missed last week's show, let me tell you, you missed a full contact episode. Justin Geduld put one of our VW Polos in the wall, but he bounced back to post a fairly respectable time on our leaderboard. But it was all about Kwagga Smith, a 125.62, nearly knocking Rob Forbes off that top position. He sits in second place now. Is that going to be good enough to see him as one of our fastest 8 qualifiers heading into that race at the end of the season here at Swartkorps? I think our next 2 guests are going to provide him with some pretty stiff competition. Let's take a look. Protea's captain Dane van Niekerk bowled her way into cricket's record books when she took 4 wickets without conceding a single run at the ICC Women's World Cup earlier this year. Unbelievable. But will she be equally impressive when she takes a spin at racing? Kankowski has done it all in the world of rugby, representing South Africa at both the 15 and 7-a-side formats of the game. The fast and skillful number 8 is a self-confessed petrolhead, but will he be fast and skillful on track?
Close. Close.
Well, it's fantastic to have Ryan and Danae joining us on the show. It's like a bit of a PE connection going on, yeah? You live in PE?
Yep.
I live in PE.
Born in PE.
You see. There was something good about you, Ryan.
Yeah, I saw the light and I left. Yeah.
Chat to us about sport for you, Danae. I mean, cricket, massive thing. Captain in all 3 of the formats. Was that something that you played at school? How did you get into cricket?
I just had the cliche story of the backyard with my brother and my dad.
Beautiful South African story.
It's so generic, I guess. Fell in love with the game. My dad saw talent and he took me to play at a club, and I went through the ranks there and I never looked back.
Yeah, but how easy was it for you back then playing cricket, you playing with the guys? I mean, what were the guys like? What's this girl doing here? Did they treat you differently?
Well, there's always a bit of competitiveness. They don't want a girl to bowl them out or hit them for 4 or 6. So
which you do.
Well, I was really lucky with the schools and all that. And then the boys I played with my whole life was really good and accepted, a girl in the team. Ryan,
you're not a girl in the team. You've been playing seriously. You've been playing rugby at the highest level for so long. Whether it's with the Sevens, obviously Springboks as well, Sharks, now Lions. Most guys growing up want to play rugby, but was there anything else that you were good at sports-wise?
I tried my hand at a bit of everything. Growing up, my dad never forced me into anything. I had my share of cricket until the ball got too quick for me to see, and then I realised, it wasn't for me. Then I tried a bit of athletics, which kind of helped me into rugby. And, once I got into rugby at school, it was something I loved. My school was passionate about it. And, it's just, I love playing it.
It's come so far for you. I mean, you've been playing in Japan now. Why Japan? And now, obviously, back at the Lions. Where do you see the future for Ryan? Are you trying to get back into the box side?
I'll say box is not on my, in my frame of mind at the moment. I came back, after Japan, needed a break from rugby. I had a sort of open deal with the Sharks to kind of come back for Super Rugby and decided to kind of take a break. And Rudolph Straley was at the Lions. Swayze de Bruin was my under-21 coach. I played with Arkies. They pointed me in the right direction in rugby, So I got a phone call to say, listen, before I head overseas, come and help us out for Currie Cup and help the youngsters.
The youngsters.
No, I was a youngster then.
Now you're helping the youngsters.
One of the old men in the team. It was a different challenge, to see if I still had it. It was the same thing when I went to Sevens. You kind of want to see if you've still got it. And, you know, the players right from under 19 up until the Super Rugby side. It's an amazing vibe. You know, the coaches treat you amazingly, you know, medical staff.
Oh, it looks like you're enjoying it.
No, they've got something special at the Lions at the moment, you know. So, you know, they've welcomed me into their family, and it's been a hell of an amazing ride so far.
Well, it's going to be interesting because we've obviously got a couple of another Lions player that's going to be posting at time. So between you and Kwaka, it's going to be quite interesting. But today, before we run out of time, we've got to chat about the World Cup cricket. I mean, you made it into the world side, which is amazing. Bowling figures? Just 4 for what?
None.
None louder.
None.
4 for none. Are those like the best bowling figures ever in a World Cup?
In history.
In history. I want to you're so modest. I just want you to say I'm flipping amazing. Incredible. What was that like representing your country? You both have standing there, anthem, the pressure that goes with it. I mean, obviously you're captain as well. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was obviously my first World Cup as captain, and I didn't know it was going to be as draining as it was. It was very tough. We have a very talented group, so they made my job very easy. I think we exceeded everyone's expectation. I think that was the most important thing for us as a team. We wanted to do that. We went with a mission. It was winning the World Cup. We fell just short,
yeah.
But, you know, a lot of positives came out of it. You know, slowly but surely, some of the players are becoming household names, which we want, and we want to build that for the generations to come.
Well, just, I mean, my final thought, what people need to realise as well is that, you know, it's an amateur game here. I mean, Ryan plays rugby, full professional, that is what you do. But for cricket, same as SA, the hockey teams, a lot of them have careers, and then they've got to try and be professional players. So I think once we get into that full professional era, it's going to be flipping amazing, and our results are going to be even better. We need to chat very quickly. Are you a good driver? I know you've got your cars, you like your cars, you rate you can drive?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Good.
Do you like driving?
No, I don't like driving, but I drive because I have to get somewhere.
Well, summer is fast approaching, and for most of South Africa, that means thunderstorms. Driving in a torrential downpour can certainly be nerve-wracking. Understanding how rain is going to affect your driving habits, and of course, more importantly, the characteristics of your car, can go a long way to saving your life out there. Let's see if we can help you. Driving in rain is a reality for us all. Besides diminished visibility, the impact a wet surface has on our car's handling characteristics is dramatic, so understanding these effects are vital to keeping us safe on the roads. And as always, it starts with our tires. Understanding that our only points of contact with the road are our tires, water, snow and gravel pose obvious challenges, hampering a tire's ability to grip. Lose grip, lose control. This is why companies like Goodyear invest millions of dollars on tire design and manufacture, and thousands of hours of real-world testing. Their testing facility in Miraval is uniquely set up for wet testing, where they are able to simulate straight line and lateral grip aquaplaning tests, wet braking, and overall wet handling characteristics on their dynamic handling test track. So what is aquaplaning? When a tire can't disperse water effectively, instead of maintaining contact with the road surface, it now travels across the top of the body of water. Because things like braking, steering, and acceleration all rely on friction or grip between the tires and the road, you momentarily lose all of those abilities, and you'll feel it immediately as the steering wheel becomes super light. So what should you do? Do not jerk your foot off the accelerator and stomp on the brakes. Not only does this upset the balance of the car, but with the tire not in contact with the road surface, even with ABS, it can't brake, so you start to skid and slide. So rather ease off the accelerator. Do not try to turn the wheel. Instead, keep a firm grip on the wheel and keep steering in the direction you want to go. Do this and have control back. If you do have cruise control on, disengage with the switch on the steering and not with the brakes. And if you were braking when you lost control, ease off the brake pedal. If you can't avoid braking, rather apply brakes progressively. Now, as we saw in one of our earlier safety lessons, we all misjudge just how far it takes a car to stop. And this was in a performance car with optimum brakes, tires, and an advanced driver behind the wheel. There are so many factors which can impact the car's ability to stop, but add a wet surface to any one of them and you can easily work on doubling the distance required to stop the car. And in snow and ice, multiply by 10. So the following pointers are critical when driving in wet conditions. Most importantly, slow down and increase your following distance. Always drive with your headlights on and make sure your tyres are pumped to the correct pressure. Make sure your tyre tread is also legal. The more tread you have, the more chance for your tyre to disperse the water and maintain that grip or contact with the road surface. Yeah, some really bad drivers on South African roads at the moment. So we're hoping that through this little thing that you guys have picked up some skills that are going to make you better drivers. Ryan, standout for you in the lessons that you did with us?
I probably say the big standout is braking distance. It's an eye-opener. It's here, you know exactly where you're stopping. You're coming around a corner at 120 k's an hour, and you're stopping there, and it takes you 120 meters to stop.
Yeah.
Driving behind a car, you may be 2 lengths behind a car. It takes you a second to brake.
To react.
To actually react before you brake, and then. I think it's quite an eye-opener. I think there are a lot of guys that we chose our distances and we all got driven over, so
a few times.
So it was, I think, a massive eye-opener.
I actually heard you standing on the sideline. It's that speed sensation, because when you sit in the car, you're totally insulated.
Yeah.
I think putting you on the road and you actually get a feel, literally, for what that speed looks like, blows your mind.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, to be honest. When I think the driver did a 60k, and I was laughing. I said, there's no way this guy's driving 60.
Yeah.
It looks so much quicker.
Yeah.
So that was a big eye-opener for me. When he came around that bend at 140, it looked like 200.
Everyone's jumping out the way.
Yeah, just jumping out the way. It was insane.
I mean, and that's what we said as well when we were doing that, is about everything changes when you put people in the car or the conditions are wet. And like this week's safety lesson was all about what to do when you're driving in wet conditions, because that changes everything. An all-new charity challenge, hands-on racing tips and advice from our 2 race aces, and of course, those flying laps of Ryan and Danae's. That's all coming your way after the ad break. You're watching Speed Stars. Hello and welcome back to this week's show. Everyone likes to win. That is why our celebrity guests push themselves to the limits every single week on the show. And while we like to give you at home the chance to bag some big prizes as well. If you're feeling particularly lucky, this is what you need to do to enter. So head to our website, www.speedstars.co.za, predict the winner in this week's matchup, and let Goodyear reward you with a R3,000 voucher to spend on any Goodyear tyres fitted at your nearest HiQ centre. While our guests continue to push the boundaries on the racetrack, we also like to challenge them in other ways. And this week's charity challenge proved, well, more challenging than we thought. After winning last week's tyre-changing challenge, Chops and his team are full of confidence. But can Mike motivate his team back to the top? The challenge is a simple one. Get from point A to B as fast as possible. And the time stops when our stars have stopped in the box. With the wet and dry course, each team was split into 2, with times combined to reveal our winners.
No, more. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Win. Stop.
1870.
You
can start breaking there. Because it breaks quite easy.
Stop. Stop. This is close.
Go.
Stop that. I think that's a winner. I think that's a winner.
Somebody's going to be very stoked. You know who was the quickest on the dry? Who had the best time? Julia. Very Very, very nice. Team Chops. Well done. You got a winner there. When we got to the wet, the quickest person. It's an all-girls affair, Dane. Yeah, we've got a winner from Mike. We've got a winner. Oh, power. I'm very impressed. Winner from Mike's team, winner from Chops' team. When I combined everything together, the winning team with 32 points as opposed to 24.
Well done. Well done.
Bangifundisa ukuthi ngikwazi ukugibela ibhayisikili. Usuku nosuku ibhayisikili lami lingisevela isikhathi. Manje sengiyakwazi uligibela ngihambe ngesikoleni.
That's 2,500 Rand donated by Volkswagen to Quebecer. It's time now for our two contestants to find out all the ins and outs about going fast around Swartkoop's racetrack, which of course means handing them over to Chops and Michael. Each of our celebrity guests receive expert advice and on-track training from the VW Driving Academy instructors in the Golf GTIs before switching to our race spec polos for their hot lap training with race aces Mike and Chops. Oh yes, they are back. Chops, of course, the man who changed the face of local motorsport, and Mike, the multiple production and touring car champion.
Brake, third gear. Turn it in and accelerate. I'll run it out.
Brakes, off the brakes. Turn it in, keep it inside. Keep it like that. That's it. No time. It's that game. Brake. More braking. That's it. Turn in. There we go. Accelerate. No. Keep going. Keep it flat now.
Trust me. Yes, now we do. Keep it flat.
That's the trick now. It's that turning point. Must come in here. And then as soon as it's here, you put your foot flat. You see? As soon as it touches it, put your foot flat.
You've been on the track now, you've done your driver training. Is this something you've done before, Dane? First time on a racetrack?
No, yeah, first time. It's brilliant. Great experience.
I know you've spent a bit of time on a track or two.
I've been on a track or two.
Did you learn anything from the instructors? That's key, because you might think you know it all because you've done it before.
No, you forget a lot, you know, and different cars do different things around the track. So it's quite nice to see what a GTR can do and then what an actual racing car can do. So it's interesting, the braking distances, coming around the corner, when you can turn. So it's quite an experience.
Here's a tricky question for you, Dane. We don't expect you to drive like this, controlled environments. They know the cars around. But do you think what you've learnt in your hot lap preparation is something that's going to help you when you drive in traffic every day as well?
No, definitely. You just you become more aware of everything around you, and like the stopping thing we spoke about and all that. It's it made me aware and actually educated. I think I'm sometimes just a bit loose head in the car. Not that I speed, but you don't think. But now it actually made me aware.
It's such a great point. Have you ever concentrated so much on driving like you just did now?
No, I'm tired, physically tired.
Hands, neck.
And it's great. It's crazy because that's how we should be doing every day. Right, you've had your training. It's now ready for hot lap time. Confident?
100%.
100%?
No, not really, no.
What, 120%?
Yeah. No, I'm about a 70% now.
70%. I've seen 70%ers score top marks. Let's see how Dane and Ryan go in the hot lap. The challenge: 2 stars, 2 cars, 1 track in a head-to-head race around Swartkoop's. Each with their own start and finish line. Whoever completes the 2 laps fastest wins.
Sweet, Hannes. Push the
No, after Justin Geduld kissed the wall in last week's episode, we were down to just 1 car. So Ryan was up first for his 2-lap assault of Swartkoop's, and having come into the show with some previous on-track experience, Big things were expected from the number 8. And he certainly wasn't backing away from the challenge. That is properly fast through turn 4. Oh, and way too fast into turn 5. Jeez, that nearly ended in a turnover. Well held and straight back onto it into turn 6. The man clearly has no fear, using every inch of the Swartkop's runoff at the final turn. But was he too aggressive?
Okay. Bit wobbly one lap. Bit wobbly.
Strapped in and she's off. Can Dane produce another magic spell and claim the scalp of the rugby star? Looking very good out of turn 2 and looking equally determined behind the wheel. She's definitely a little more conservative through the fast turn 4, but Ryan lost plenty of time with these huge moments. Dane not putting a wheel wrong. How's that? I think she'll be pleased with that effort. Dane, I know you were a little bit freaked out. You saw what happened earlier in the day when we were recording with Justin. Did that freak you out a bit?
Yeah, it definitely did. You know, I like speed generally, but when I saw that accident, I was a bit freaked out because I tend to brake too late as well. So I was just thinking, brake early. So I think my time is going to be a bit slow there.
Well, we're going to find out. Ron, how did you think you did? You look good, look quick.
Yeah, I made a few mistakes. I think I pushed my luck a bit around 1 or 2 corners. Just went off the track a bit.
A few people went off the track a little bit.
Yeah, I just pushed it a little bit, so we'll see.
Look at this leaderboard. Dane, anybody you want to beat there in particular?
No, realistically, I don't think I will beat anyone, so I'm not really bothered. If I went in, you know,
with a gun guard on
and all that.
Before Justin.
Yeah, before Justin, I probably would have.
So if you don't do well, we're going to blame Justin. Ryan, where do you think you're going to end up?
I'm hoping top.
Are you hoping top?
I'm hoping top half of that little
Okay,
table.
well, let's go with Dane first. Quite interesting, because you said you didn't think you beat anyone, and you'd be surprised if you did.
Yeah.
Well, you did.
No ways.
You beat Julia,
Oh, yeah.
but you didn't just beat Julia, you also beat Elmer. So nicely done. A 132.4, dear madam.
Oh, that's not bad.
Ah,
There we go.
Nicely done. Can you smile now? Hey.
I'm smiling the whole day.
Jeez,
It's
no,
been a
I know,
great
but
day.
you didn't think you did that well. Kanko, see, you won that 2-lap race between the two of you. In actual fact, your combined time over 2 laps was the fastest we've had to date on the show.
Wow.
Very, very good. But the lap time that counted has got you not in the top position where you wanted to be, but I think you're going to be quite stoked with 3rd position behind Kwacha, a 126.02. Sitting pretty in 3rd position. That's healthy. You've got to be top 8 to make it through to the race at the end of the day. Dane, you're still in there with a shout as well. And obviously our public contestants have set a lap time, but we're going to reveal those right at the end. Well done, Ryan. You won this. Great position. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Don't feel bad. All good.
I'm stoked. I'm just glad I got out there in one piece.
Beat the girls. Very, very nicely done. Well, the good news is our Predict the Winner competition had one of you picking Ryan Kankowski as the winner of this battle, tipping the bat against Dane van Niekerk. Let's find out who our lucky winner was. Congratulations to this week's lucky winner. You will love the drive with your advanced driving course from Volkswagen Driving Academy. Well, what an awesome prize. Congratulations to our viewer at home winning that advanced driving course with the VW Driving Academy. Somebody that clearly has done a lot of advanced driver training is Ryan Kankowski. Fastest overall time over 2 laps, but sitting in 3rd position at the moment on the leaderboard. And Dane van Niekerk, fastest lady to date. So for you at home, if you want to get in on the winning action, head through to our website and predict who you think is going to win in next week's celebrity pairing. We've come to the end of our show. Next week, another 2 celebrities hungry for racetrack glory. For you guys, keep your driving on the road safe. We'll see you then. Lights, camera, action. This is where model, presenter, and actress Sashi Naidu feels most at home. But will she still be smiling when the lights go out?
I don't think there's any sexy way of getting into a race car.
No, not at all.
A self-confessed ordinary girl, the multi-talented Zoe Brown has her own show on KFM and is part of the popular Espresso team. We're hoping her performance behind the wheel will be extraordinary.
Who's worse, the Turbulence or the Cantonians?
Both are bad.
Because I claim the other.